Hey everybody, welcome to part 1 of the Unit 4 review. To save time, I am going to have everything worked out already. I'm just going to go over how I got it. So the first two questions are very similar. I'm giving you a set of points and I say write a quadratic equation that fits the set of points. So all you got to do is open up Desmos and plug these points into a table. So I'm going to go here and then I'm going to open up Desmos and I'm going to click the plus sign that says add an item, and then I'll just add a table, and then -1, -16, and 2, 5, and 5, 8 are my table values. Once you do that, you have to type this in. You have to go y1, and then you have to do approximately equals to, find that squiggly sign, ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. Once you do that, it'll give you your parameters for a, b, and c. And so you get a is -1, b is 8, and c is -7. And so -1 for a, you could just write -1 squared, or just put -x squared. Oh, I said -1 squared, -1x squared. But yeah, b is 8 and c was -7. So this is how I got my equation. So if you follow those same steps, you'll get the answer I got for number 2. So let me show you what that looks like. I have that right here. And so I typed it into a table. I typed in the y1 is approximately equal to ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. And so a is 0.3 forever. That's the fraction of 1 over 3. And then b is -2, c is -9. So I wrote y equals 1 over 3x squared minus 2x minus 9. And that's all there is to that. Now for number 3, it says, what's the equation of the parabola with a directrix of x equals -18 and a focus at 18, 0? Well, you got to remember that you need to find this p-value. The p-value is going to be in the focus. So if focus at 18, 0, if the focus is at 18, 0, then it's p is 18. If the directrix, if all you're given is the directrix, well, p is the opposite sign of the directrix. So x equals -18, the opposite sign of that would be positive 18. So again, p is 18. But because this is x equals and your focus is in the x coordinate, that means your equation will be x equals as well. So this will be your formula. The only way this formula could change is your x's and y's would flip. And then if that happened, then the focus would be in the y coordinate and you'd have a y equals directrix. But yeah, just plug 18 into this formula right here, and 4 times 18 is 72. So that's how I got my equation of x equals 1 over 72 y squared. I believe this was the 3.3 notes, if I'm not mistaken. The next thing is writing an equation in vertex form. And so if I give you an equation in vertex form, if I want you to find an equation in vertex form, I'm going to give you a vertex and then a point that's somewhere on that parabola. So you just got to remember that your vertex is going to be the h and k from the formula. And so -3 is h and -4 is my k. And then 2, 6, you would use that for your x and y values. So plug these in for these 4 letters, and then the only letter left will be a. So y equals 6 equals a times x minus h. So a times x is 2 minus h would be minus -3. If you minus a negative number, it's the same thing as adding it. So that's why I wrote 2 plus 3. And then it's squared plus k. And k was -4. So I just throw on a -4 at the end there. So do 2 plus 3, that's 5, and then square it. 5 squared is 25. So that's how I got 25a, because once you figure this number out, it'll go in front of the a. And then all you have to do is just add 4 to the other side, because it's not tied into this. So add 4 to the other side and you get 10. 10 equal to 25a. divide both sides, and simplify that fraction to get 2 over 5. So when you write your final equation, you don't leave this 0.26 plugged in, but you do need to have your h and k plugged in. So you're going to leave behind the plus 3 and the minus 4. So you need to write it with the a, h, and k plugged in, okay? So that's how I got y equals 2 over 5 x plus 3 squared minus 4. And again, you should be able to graph this, and it should match whatever is given to you in the question. So if I graph this, I'd find this for my vertex, I'd find this somewhere on the graph. So that's how you would check your work. So question 5 says write an equation of a parabola in intercept form. So intercept form uses this formula right here. So there is no h and k. So what you do need is you need these p and q values, and then you'll need to figure out your a value. So it says it passes through x equals negative 2 and x equals 4. Most common mistake people make is they take the negative 2 and they put it right there, and then they take the 4 and they plug it in right there, and then they get their p and their q parts wrong. If it's passing through these points here, these are x-intercepts. So what these are saying is this is at negative 2 comma 0 and 4 comma 0. So those are x-intercepts. Sometimes people write x-intercepts as just x equals that number. So you're going to use these for p and q. So that's why I wrote right here p is negative 2 and q is 4. And then the other point you're given, it says it goes through 2, 4. Doesn't matter if that's where that point is, like if it's the vertex or not. Sometimes you're given the vertex for the third point. I think that's just to like kind of confuse you with this form, with the vertex form. But yeah, it doesn't tell us if the vertex is 2, 4 or not. It just says 2, 4 is there. All I'm trying to say is use 2, 4 for an x value and a y value. So that's why I wrote x equals 2, y equals 4 there. So plug all those numbers into your formula, and then you'll just have the letter a behind. And remember, if you minus a negative, like p is negative 2, x minus p, if I'm minusing a negative 2, it turns into plus 2, okay? So that's how I got 2 plus 2 here, because x is 2. And then 2 minus 4 from the x minus q. So this is going to give me 4 times negative 2, and that'll give me negative 8. Divide it to both sides, and you get a is negative 1 over 2. And kind of like the last one, just leave behind the p, q, and then plug in the a, okay? Don't leave your x and y values plugged in. So yeah, this is my final answer. You should be able to graph this and find these two as your x-intercepts in the graph and the 0.24 somewhere on the graph, okay? So the last thing to go over is a domain and range problem. If I give you the equation, the domain's always all real numbers. Whether the graph opens up or down, it's just all real numbers. So you don't really have to look at the graph for that. But, you know, if you need to, go ahead and graph it. So I'll go to Desmos here, and I'll type in 3 over 4, and then it said x minus 2 squared plus 6, right? And so, yeah, the domain's all real numbers. And then the range, I put the range is going from 6 to infinity, or y is greater than or equal to 6. So let me zoom up or scroll. So yeah, the domain's moving left and right. There's nothing restricting it. But there is something restricting it for the range. It's, you look at the y coordinate of the vertex, that's a 6. And you look at the direction it's going. It's going up. So it's going from 6 to infinity, or you say y is greater than or equal to 6. Just make sure you put the number in a bracket and infinity in parentheses, because you can touch the 6 but not infinity. So that'll wrap it up for part 1. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.